Hello, my name is David Ruben, attorney in the state of Maryland. I've been an attorney since 1991. In this video, I'm going to discuss what factors a judge looks at when determining what is in the best interests of a child in a case where people are fighting about physical custody, not legal custody. Legal custody, you'll remember, is decision-making, and really that's up to whether or not the parties are able to communicate with each other and who's better equipped to make the decisions. But this is physical custody, and what factors does the judge look at in physical custody cases? When you come into the office and talk about this, we'll go over all these factors and see how it applies to you. There is no presumption that children should live half with one parent or half with the other parent, although I will tell you over the last, I've been doing this since 1991, since then, back when I first started, most kids lived with their mom primarily and visited with dad on the weekends. Since then, there's been a huge change. Now, I would say that more than half the cases, if not 75% of the cases, the parties are sharing custody, in physical custody. But what does the judge look at? Well, they look at, most importantly, what is the stability? What is most stable for the children? And when they look at that, what has been happening before these people came to court? Oftentimes people come in, they've been apart for 3 years, they've had an every other weekend schedule, and all of a sudden one person wants to come in and say, I want to see my kids more. Okay, well you can ask the judge to see your kids more, but why haven't you done that in the last 3 years? If presumably what you've been doing is in your children's best interest, because that's what you've been doing. Now there may be reasons why not. There might be some kind of denial of access, but you've always had access to the court system. And what the judge looks at is, as a judge, if we've had a situation and the kids come into court and they're doing really well, they don't want to change it. They don't care about the dad, I want to see my kids more. It's not about that. It's about the kids. It's about the kids, and if they are doing well, then the judge is going to keep it that way most of the time. But again, things change, kids get older, circumstances change, kids are in daycare, and then they're in preschool, then they're in kindergarten, and jobs change, and where they live changes. So all sorts of factors go into these situations, but stability is primary in these cases. They also look at character of the parties. Does the person have a drug problem? Is the person a liar? Does the person tell the truth when they're in court? Has the person paid child support, even if not ordered to do so? Has the person moved in with another person very quickly and exposed the children to new people? Perhaps that's, not a good thing. Perhaps it's a good thing. Everybody can argue about that. But judges are able to look at everything about you. Criminal history. They look at family members that are close by. It's an important factor a lot of times because it's hard for people, especially when they're separated, to raise a family. Do you have grandparents nearby? Do you have brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins who can help you out? Not just with love and care, but perhaps with transportation or perhaps with money. Those are factors the court considers. They look at financial factors. Do you have the ability to take care of the child? They look at, have you paid child support? What have you done to help take care of your children? They look at all sorts of things. And in the end, a judge will sort of get an idea of who these people are, what their major concerns are. Have the parties had an agreement in the past? Again, like I said before, if you all have agreed for 3 years to do it one way, that's important. That means you both thought that was in the best interest of the children. They look at prior agreements. The judge takes all that into account, and as judges always say, the hardest decision I ever have to make is to determine custody of a minor child. I mean, you have a mother who loves the child very much, a father who loves the child very much, a judge who just picks up the file that morning, comes into court, and is charged with determining what arrangement is the best interest of the child. It's really hard for a judge to do, and we have really, really good judges for the most part in the state of Maryland, and they do their best, but they don't always get it right. And that's why the court system, and even as lawyers, we encourage people to try to resolve these cases, to go to mediation, figure it out. You guys are the parents, figure it out. But, of course, that's not real life. The courtrooms are filled every day in Maryland, in all counties, with people fighting over what they think is in the best interest. And every situation just can't be resolved. I mean, I've done several cases even in the last year where somebody has to move out of state for military service. It's a tough situation. Well, person in Maryland doesn't want to lose custody, but the person that's moving out of state, wasn't their fault. They're in the military or they got a new job or something like that. So situations come all the time. Two people are wonderful, great parents, and they share physical custody for the first 3 years of the child's life. Then the child goes to school, and they live in, half an hour away from each other. Well, you're not going to be able to have the same situation. So things come up all the time, and that's why we're busy, either fortunately or unfortunately. So if you have a situation where you and the other parent can't agree, come to me. I'll be happy to help you. I'll talk to you. We'll talk through these factors, and we'll give you an idea of what this is likely going to happen. We'll talk about how much you think it's going to cost to fight about it. Is that in the children's best interest? And ultimately what we think a judge would do, and we try to resolve it. If we can't, I'm best known, I think, for fighting these custody cases and winning these custody cases on behalf of my clients and putting forth, using my experience and my ability to communicate to a judge and with witnesses in court to put forth the best interests of the children in all cases and try to convince judges of that. So if you have a custody case and you can't seem to resolve it, call me. I'll be happy to help you. It's always a free consultation. Send me an email through my website. Give me a call. The number's on the website. I'll be happy to help you.